Hey everyone, welcome to Learn DAX channel. My name is Siddesh, and in the previous two videos, we saw the use cases of all and all except function. So the all function is going to negate any filter context that we are going to have inherently in Power BI. And we'll have to explicitly mention the table name and the columns that we would want to not be a part of the inherent filter context. In the case of all except function, we are going to specify except this column, negate every other filter context. So for example, when we were calculating the product percentage sales per retailer, we asked Power BI to retain the filter context of retailer, but to not respect the filter context of product. Now, what I mean by that is when you see the granularity in which it is slicing and dicing the data, going retailer and product wise, instead of that, it is taking the granularity at the level of retailer and then giving me the breakdown for those products. So this was the use case of all except function. If you haven't watched that video, I will leave the link in the description. You can go and check it out. Now there's this one very interesting use case for which we are going to use another function in DAX. So let's see what is that use case. Now I will pull this retailer again on my canvas and I will pull the retailer wise sales percentage. Where do I have it? I think let's name this retailer sales wise percentage so it blends in with all other measures which have percentage in their naming convention. It's going to be easier. I said that in the last video, verbose. We need to make it as intuitive as possible. So I pull it here and I see that I can see the breakdown of the retailer wise sales according to what retailers have sold. But what if I pull retailer in here as a slicer and it is a multi-select slicer. Now, if I select Amazon, it is giving me that the retailer's by sales percentage is 8.4%. Okay, fair enough. What if I select Foot Locker as well and Kohl's? Now, if you see, there's an interesting thing happening in this particular table, wherein instead of seeing the breakdown as 100%, I mean, as a portion of 100% being split into three retailers, which is Amazon, Foot Locker, and Kohl's, it is giving me the absolute number, which is 8.4, 24.15, and 11.24. But what if the business wants to view these three retailers split into 100%? What am I going to do in that case? Well, one thing that you observed here is that we observed here is that there is certain filters that are being applied at the visual level via these slicers. And in order to respect those slicers or the filtering that happens at the visual level, we are going to use another DAX function, which is the all selected function. Now, we will slightly tweak this formula in order to create our all selected function or the measure using the all selected function rather. So let's create a new measure using the same convention, retailer wise sales. I need to slow down. Retailer wise sales all selected is equal to calculate sales amount all selected sales region or retailer. Let's go with retailer. So at the visual level, once I select the retailer, it is going to then split the retailer sales percentage by respecting the visual level filters. So let's see this in action. I hit enter. Okay, okay, all selected. Let's call it new because there's existing already. Looks like something that I was doing before this video showed up. So if I pull it here, retailer by sales all selected new, it's giving me 100%. I mean, what is that? Let's see. Hold on. We should not jump to conclusion right away. There's still one more step to go. Let's create another measure. Retailer by sales percentage all selected new is equal to calculate, not calculate, divide actually. Aren't we using divide? Sales amount divided by retailer by sales per sales all selected new because there was already one measure which was having the same name, new. Now let's change it to a percentage. and now bring it. Now let's remove this slices for a moment. Okay. So now the sales for all are 1.2 billion. Wow, this is strange. Now where do I have this percentage? Yeah, this is where I have this new measure. But you will notice that what is the difference anyways? Here it was 8.4, here it's 8.4, here it's 26.97, here it's 26.97. But the real magic is going to happen now. Let me select Amazon, Foot Locker and Kohl's. Now you see that the all except function, all selected function rather, is giving us a different value. It's what it's doing is if the pie, the size of the pie was retailer listed as Amazon, Foot Locker, and Kohl's, then the percentage of the sales that they have in a split of 100% would be 19.18, 55.14, and 25.67. However, in absolute terms, if you are going to compare them with all the sales, see, if you're comparing with all the sales, compared to the grand total, Amazon has retailer-wise sales of 8.4%. However, if I just choose Amazon and Foot Locker, in that case, the sales of Amazon compared to Foot Locker is 25.81 and this is 74.19. So at the visual level, if we are going to do some changes or we are going to make some selections, in that case, you see that this does not sum up to 100%, this retailer-wise sales, whereas this sums up to 100%. And that's the one of the use cases of the all selected function, wherein we want to see the percentage split in terms of the 100% for the selections that we have made on the visual or on the slicer. So that's in brief what all selected does in this particular case. And yes, that brings us to the end of this video. If you found any new learnings from this video, please share it with your friends. And happy to see your feedback in the comments. Until, as I say at the end of every video, thanks for watching and happy learning.